So you don't pay taxes to the Maltese government. You have basically free access across all of Europe. But then again, what's the point of staying if it doesn't count towards permanent residence and then you have to leave when your time is up? Hi everyone, you're welcome back to the channel. My name is Moy Douglas, and on this space I share mostly informative content about my perspective and experiences living, working and navigating the EU as an African expat. So if this interests you, please do not hesitate to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below as always. Thank you. Today I'll be addressing the realities of living in Malta as a digital nomad in 2024. So for those of you who may not know, I'm a digital nomad and I have lived in Malta with my family since December of 2022. Now, before I begin to itemize as usual, let me briefly explain what or who a digital nomad is. In simple terms, a digital nomad is anyone who works 100% remotely and as a result can work from anywhere in the world. Keep in mind though that there are some remote jobs that require you to be local to a particular region or country, and such jobs would not count towards applying for a digital nomad visa. As a matter of fact, you would need an attestation from your employer stating that you can perform your duties 100% remotely and from any part of the world. So aside that, the major requirement for becoming a digital nomad in Malta is that you can prove that you earn a certain amount of money from outside of Malta annually. So as long as you are employed from an organization outside of Malta and you meet the income requirements and the 100% remote eligibility requirement, you can pretty much get this residence. So now that's out of the way, let's unpack some pleasant and unpleasant realities of being a digital nomad in Malta in 2024. Number one, your dependent spouse is not permitted to work for a Maltese company. Now, if you're a single person, this may not apply to you, but if you're a couple or a family, you would need to think seriously about this. So I am a dependent, and because of that rule, I can only work remotely for companies outside of Malta. Trust me, you think this is no big deal, but when you begin to see lots of Maltese companies hiring from abroad and sponsoring families all the way and they get all the benefits, you begin to wonder if you made the right decision. Especially in my case where recruiters have contacted me several times for open positions, but I could not take them because of the rules of my residency. As a matter of fact, I have been offered more than what I currently make, but let's not digress. So the main applicant makes income from outside of Malta, and the dependent spouse or partner must also do same, period. Point number two, your dependent kids are not eligible for free education. If you've seen my previous video, you see I mentioned free education and free childcare as one of the benefits of living in Malta as a tax-paying resident. Well, this doesn't apply to digital nomads. So because you do not work for a Maltese local company, you would not benefit from free childcare. So childcare in the government-run centers cost about €6 per hour for a minimum of 20 hours a week, and the privately run or the private-owned centers are obviously more expensive. Number three, you must purchase health insurance premiums. Again, because you do not work locally, you are not on Job Plus, you would not benefit from free healthcare, obviously. As a matter of fact, you would have to purchase a 1-year health insurance premium for yourself and your dependents in full. Emphasis on in full as part of your visa application. So you're not going to subscribe to a monthly plan. If it has a monthly plan, you're going to have to pay the entire 1-year amount. And this also applies to subsequent renewal processes. Point number four, maximum of 4 years residency. So the digital nomad is a temporary residence program and can only be renewed yearly for a maximum of 4 years. So this means that after 4 years, you have to leave the country. Unless, of course, the law changes before then. I mean, it was recently increased from 3 years to 4 years. So let's see what happens. Number five, your residence doesn't count towards long-term residency or naturalization. Well, this is a sad truth. So unlike other European countries and countries around the world, your time of legal residence as a digital nomad in Malta doesn't count towards naturalization or permanent residence or any sort. Now, here's the thing. You would need to live in Malta consecutively as a legal resident for 5 years to be eligible to apply for the long-term residence. Now you see that capping the digital nomad residence program at 4 years is quite strategic if you ask me. That way, it would be impossible to stay long enough to be eligible for the long-term residence, let alone naturalize in the country. Number six, lengthy, hectic residency renewal every year. Well, This for me is the most daunting one. Every year, the application for renewal is like a fresh application, and there is no guarantee that your application would be accepted or positive. As a matter of fact, I know someone who was refused on renewal and given a couple of days to leave the country. Sad, but true. So now let's get to the good or seemingly pleasant stuff. Number one, your income is not taxed by the Maltese government. So since you make money from outside of Malta, your income is taxed either from its country of origin or your home country. So your contribution to the Maltese economy is to spend your money in Malta. The idea is to make money from outside of Malta and bring it in to boost the economy. Number two, your residency gives you free travel access to all of the Schengen countries, most parts of Europe, and some other select countries like Qatar, Mexico, etc. As a Schengen resident, you have access to almost all of Europe visa free. Trust me, this one is a real flex, especially for a third country national like myself. I mean, you can just decide to backpack to Germany or France this weekend, Sweden or Norway the next, or decide to spend the whole month in Italy. And flight rates are actually very affordable, especially during off-peak seasons on budget airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet, with prices starting from as low as under 20 euros to some destinations. So if your plan is to see all of Europe in 1 year, and you have the budget for it, and you do not want to, go through the back and forth with visas in the Schengen area, this residency would give you that access and a lot more. Number three, free public transportation. So the one thing we get from the government as digital nomads is the fact that we can also get the personalized free public transportation cards. So transportation is completely free of charge. Just imagine going a whole year without a set budget for transportation living in Europe. Trust me, it will save you a whole lot, especially as a family. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch up to this point, please leave a comment down below on what you think about the Malta Digital Nomad Visa. Is this something you will be interested in doing? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. So until I come your way again in my next video, do have an amazing day. Bye-bye.